YouTube, what is good? So today is November 28th, 2018. So you know what that means? We have about 1 month until the new year. And at the beginning of the year, it's like a fresh start for everyone. We all set new goals, we set new business goals, new personal goals. And I know a goal for a lot of photographers as well as business owners out there is to grow their Instagram, to take advantage of social media more. So that is what we are talking about today, how to grow your Instagram in 2019. And if you happen to be watching this video well into 2019, don't worry, it's all good. Most of this information should still apply. So I've been on Instagram for quite some time now. I think I started in like 2013, maybe even 2012, to showcase my photography and promote my photography. And along the way, I've had some good growth. I spent like 1 year stagnant at basically the same amount of followers, and now my account is growing again. And over the years, I've watched a lot of other people grow. I've watched a lot of other people make mistakes. So today we're kind of wrapping all that up. I'm gonna put it into one video so you can take this information, apply it to your Instagram, not make the same mistakes as me, and grow into 2019 and into the future. So real quick before we get going, I want to thank our sponsor Audible for making this video possible. Use my link audible.com/EvanRanft or text EvanRanft to 500 to get a free book, 2 free Audible originals from a curated list, and a 30-day trial. And for a limited time, get 3 months of Audible for just $6.95 a month. That's more than half off the regular price. This month I'm using the Audible app to listen to Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. I'm only about 30 minutes in, but it is awesome so far. This is basically a book defining success in a new way. It's looking at hyper successful people and analyzing how there's a lot more going on that we don't think about that makes someone successful outside of them just working hard. I highly recommend it. Use that free book credit on this book. You will not regret it. And it's honestly a really good deal because this book is a little bit pricey if you don't use that free credit. And when you're an Audible member, you get a credit for a book at any price every month, and that book is yours to keep forever. So use my link audible.com/EvanRanft or text EvanRanft to 500 to get a free book, 2 free Audible originals from a curated list, and a 30-day trial. So the first thing you got to talk about is defining success on Instagram. A lot of people look at the follower count and think the more followers, the better. The more followers you have, the more successful you are technically on Instagram, when that's not really the case. Instagram is more about engagement. People who follow you actually caring about what you are doing and engaging in whatever it is you're doing. If you're a photographer, they're engaging with their photos saying, I like this is interesting to me. If you are a small business, people finding your account and actually going to your small business and investing their money into whatever it is that you're doing. Instagram is not all about followers. It's all about the people who follow you caring about what you are doing. So keep that in mind as you're building your page. So the second thing we have to talk about is identifying what your account is about. Okay, it can be pretty loose or it can be as structured as you want. Is your page about Legos? Is your page about sneakers? Is your page about sneaker lifestyle? Is your page about clothes? Is it about food? Is it about travel? Is it about just what you're doing? Whatever it is, figure out what your page is going to be about and stick to it. Stick to that type of thing, because when people find your page and they follow you, that's what they're going to come to expect. I know in your head, everyone wants to just do whatever they want online. Oh, I wish my Instagram could just be anything I want it to be. Well, unfortunately, that's not really how it works anymore. You know, I wish it did. It'd be great for everyone to just do what they wanted, but the reality of the situation is you kind of want a theme to make it easier for your page to be followed and kept up with. So the third thing is kind of a footnote on that last point. Let's say there is something you want to share outside of the normal theme of your page. I actually think this is good because it can give your page a little bit of life, but it's important to understand where you share these pieces of content, okay? Here's an example. Let's say you post pictures of food every single day for 30 days. And then all of a sudden you post this selfie video of you talking about something random. I don't know what you're talking about. That does not belong on your feed. For the last 30 days, people have gotten used to seeing pictures of your food. That's why they follow you. It doesn't make sense to post a video of yourself talking. It's not a picture of food. But there is a place for a piece of content like that. Instagram stories are a fantastic way to share these pieces of content that might be a little more personal, a little bit outside of the realm of what you normally post, and still get them out there to your followers. And there's no real metric on these stories of engagement. You can post what you want in stories, give your page a little bit of life, more of a narrative, more of a personality, without having to worry about people actually liking and commenting the photos and it affecting algorithms, all that stuff. You know, I hate talking about algorithms, but it's a reality of Instagram as a platform. So if you want to do something outside the normal realm of the content you're posting, that's all good, but make sure you're sharing it in the right place. And I think Instagram story is a fantastic place to do that. So that's a huge thing to remember and something a lot of people miss out on. Instagram now provides you two places to post content, okay? You have your feed, which is really controlled by algorithms and formulas and stuff. That's why you want to stick to the same theme. But then you have your story, which is a little bit less regulated, you know? People can DM you off of a story if they want, but for the most part, you can post what you want in there, create a narrative around your page, have it be more personal without really facing the consequences of people not liking it and not commenting on it and it slowing down the growth of your page. So now let's talk about the relationship between the subject of your Instagram and the potential audience of your Instagram. This is something very important to keep in mind because you need to know how to capture the particular audience you're looking for, and you also need to identify, is there a big audience out there? Is there a small audience? How do I tap into this? So here's my example. Let's say your interest is Legos. Legos is like your favorite thing. You build Legos every single day. You post a picture of the Legos you build every single day. There's probably a lot of people out there who are interested in Legos, but maybe not the same amount of people who are interested in, let's say, Major League Football. Well, either American or European. I don't know which one we'll go with, but we'll just say professional sports to keep it simple. There's going to be a lot more people who care about professional sports than people who care about Legos. Now, that's not necessarily a negative thing. The theme of your page defines the potential audience, which defines the potential difficulty you will have in capturing this audience. So this is what I mean. If your page is about Legos, there's a smaller percentage of the world who cares about Legos. So it's going to be easy for you to stand out amongst these people and grow an account that gets a lot of engagement and a lot of interest. But at the end of the day, you might only have 500,000 people who really truly care about Legos. Whereas if you create an account about professional sports, there could be 100 million people in the world who care about professional sports. But here's the caveat to that bigger audience. There are more people doing what you are trying to do, so it's going to take you longer, it's going to take more work, and it's going to take much more resources to develop an Instagram page and create the content needed to capture an audience that big. So essentially, to summarize that, the larger potential audience, the more difficult it is to stand out and grow. Whereas the smaller potential audience, it's actually easier to stand out, but at the end of the day, your ceiling is much lower because less people care about whatever it is you're doing. It's not necessarily a bad or good thing, it's just something you need to remember. So now we figured out what our page is about, what our theme is, we figured out the potential audience we have, whether it's big, whether it's small. Now we actually have to get people interested in our Instagram page. And there's a couple ways you can do that. The first is find people with the same interest as you, whatever that is. Let's say you're interested in landscape photography. This is a big one. There's a huge audience for landscape photography. Follow people with similar interests and engage with those people. If they post a photo you like, comment, hey, this is dope, I like this photo, or whatever the case may be. Also, look out for accounts that repost landscape photography. There's so many of them out there. And if they have a specific hashtag, let's say the hashtag is landscape photographers on IG. I don't know, I'm making something up off the top of my head. You post a landscape photo, use that hashtag so they can potentially repost it, because a lot of these pages have huge audiences because essentially they're like a hub for all the best of the best content inside of one genre. Name a theme, I guarantee there are repost pages that kind of centralize the best of the best content so people can find it easier. So search these things out, find individuals as well as curated pages, and interact with them in one way or another, whether that's commenting on their posts or using the specific hashtag that they put out there so you can potentially get reposted and be seen by a wider audience. Now, another thing you can do outside of using the hashtags affiliated with these other pages is using relevant hashtags to whatever it is you're posting. And don't go crazy, that ended, years ago. Back in the day, everyone would be posting like 30 hashtags, like scrolled down under their photo, hidden in the comments. Doesn't work anymore. Instagram wised up. They are over it. So here's what you can do. Maybe post 3 or 4 hashtags at the end of your caption that have something relevant to do with whatever it is you're doing. So here's an example. Let's say I post a photo from a helicopter of Atlanta. I live in Atlanta. I got a lot of photos of the city. The first hashtag is going to be hashtag Atlanta. That's just a general hashtag of the city. So if anyone is in the city, they search that hashtag, hopefully they will find my page. The second one I'm going to do is Explore Georgia, which is a page here in Georgia that reposts photos from all over the state. So if the photo did get reposted, it would reach an audience of people who care about the entire state of Georgia and not just Atlanta. For the third post, I would go with cityscape, which is a pretty broad type of photography. It's a broad genre. So if anyone's interested in that, they search the hashtag, they might find my photo, which is relevant to what they are searching for. Then the fourth one, I'm going to do something a little bit more niche, something that less people care about, but there is an audience for. Maybe aerial photography or helicopter photography, something like that. It's not as popular of a hashtag, but there's people out there who care about it. And once again, the photo is relevant to that hashtag. That is the key. Make sure whatever tags you're using are actually relevant to whatever it is you're posting. So if people find it, they're like, hey, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Follow. Now, one other thing you can do is utilize the location feature on Instagram, okay? It's a huge mistake if you are not putting your location on a photo, especially if you want people to find you. Listen to this. I was in St. Louis over the summer. Anytime I go to a new city, I always go to places on Instagram and I search that particular city. But this time in St. Louis, your boy was starving. I needed to get some breakfast, didn't know where to go. So I went into Instagram, searched St. Louis, scrolled for about 4 minutes, and I came across this French toast that looked incredible. I'm telling you, it was like the best looking French toast I'd ever seen. So walked there, 30 minutes later, they had my $20 for my French toast, my bacon, my coffee, and it was worth every single penny. How'd I find them? Through Instagram, because they put the location of their restaurant in their post. And because of the way Instagram works, if you tag your business or wherever you are and it's inside of a large city and someone searches that large city, it gets put into a pool of posts and you can be seen just with that general city, okay? So you don't even have to tag like Atlanta, you can tag High Museum of Art Atlanta and it will come up in Atlanta, Georgia. Highly searchable, highly visible, and a great way to be seen and found on Instagram. If you're not doing locations, I don't know what to tell you. It's a huge piece of being seen on Instagram. So next up, we have a huge change to Instagram in the last few years, and that is video, okay? Now, I'm not an expert on algorithms, I'm not an expert on how this works, but what I can tell you is videos get seen and videos go viral. Photos, they don't really go viral. Videos, on the other hand, they go crazy on Instagram. So if you have the potential to post videos, especially interesting, good videos, do it. You know, there's a lot of pages out there now that they just only post videos because videos spread like crazy on Instagram. They're highly visible, they're easy to be seen, and a lot of times they get on the explore page. There's so many comedians out there now who just basically film themselves being silly on their phone and they get hundreds of thousands and millions of views on their videos. So video is something I highly recommend if you have the means to do it or it's something that makes sense with your type of content or subject matter. Now, the last thing we got to talk about, put your tinfoil hat on. This is a little bit conspiracy theory, but I think it's important to talk about because it is a subject we see a lot. Now, the first half is about buying followers and buying likes. Don't do it. Terrible idea. It's always been a horrible idea. It's never actually good. It just inflates your numbers, but it doesn't really do anything for you at the end of the day. And the people watching this video, I know y'all are trying to do stuff. So don't buy followers, don't buy likes, especially because Instagram now announced that they're really cracking down on it, and in the future it's definitely going to go away. The more important thing, the real conspiracy in all this, is paying Instagram to promote your posts. Now, I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with this, but here's what I've heard from people and what I've seen in other people's accounts. If you pay to promote a post, it's almost like you get put into a group of users who Instagram identifies as these people are willing to pay to promote whatever it is they're doing. And it can affect the way these algorithms work on your particular page. Now, once again, I hate talking about these algorithms like they're this overseeing overlord, but you're watching this video to try to grow on Instagram, so I'm helping you out here. So basically the takeaway on this, I don't know anything about this. Like I said, it's a conspiracy theory, but I've just seen it happen to people where they pay to promote one or two posts and then all of a sudden their engagement on their posts drops. Less new people to their page, they're not being shown to as many people. Granted, I don't know if it works that way. I'm just saying, if you pay to promote a post, be aware that it could potentially affect the way these algorithms on these social media platforms show your posts to new people and your name gets out there, okay? So yeah, that is it. I really just dumped a lot of information on you right there, but I think that is like a small book on Instagram basics. If I was having a conversation with a business owner and they asked me how can we start growing, I would tell them the exact same stuff, okay? okay? That's everything I've learned, everything I know, and I think it will help you out. It's almost 2019. There are so many people on Instagram. It is harder than ever to stand out, but one way to do that is be strategic, have a plan, and understand what exactly you are trying to do with your page, with your business, whatever you're using Instagram for, okay? You've got to define what it is you're doing and how you're gonna do it. And make sure you're doing everything you possibly can to be seen by the people who need to be seeing you, okay? Your audience. It's not all about getting followers, it's all about building an audience who cares about what you are doing to eventually buy your photography, book you for a photo shoot, come to your restaurant, eat some delicious banana French toast with Nutella like I did in St. Louis, or whatever the case may be, all right? That's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope it helps you out. Hit that share button, pass the info along, hit that thumbs up, subscribe. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time.